All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Money Market. You are actually with me, Che Yusuf. So yeah, it's another week in terms of the market analysis. But the most important this week it is U.S. election week. U.S. election week. So actually, United States is going on pause, where they're going to vote for the president of the United States. That is happening this week, Tuesday, and we are going to anticipating a lot of movement or a lot of changes in terms of the market, how it's gonna actually perform. Again, it is between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, that are actually contesting against each other in terms of the election or the presidential election of the United States. The polls already, some of the polls for Iowa, it's talking about Kamala Harris being up for 47% versus 46% or 45% of Donald Trump. So that's what actually is cooking this week. Very very interesting week. When it comes to last week, there was also a lot of things that happened. We saw non-farm payroll coming last week. The numbers actually surpassing the estimation numbers, really showing that the labor department of US it's actually performing very well. So that was very important. Again, we saw the ADP US October private employment rises to 233k, estimated of 11k. When it comes to non-farm payroll, the estimation was 110,000. Prior before that was 254,000. In terms of the unemployment rate, the estimation was 4.1%. Prior to that was 4.1% as well. So also there was a lot of earnings that comes last week. There was Meta dropping the earnings, Amazon dropping the earnings, and as well as Apple, Microsoft again, and magnificent one, which is Nvidia dropping also the earnings. So that's what actually comes last week, and those are the things that actually pushes the volatility to goes all the way up. So what are we gonna do again this week? We are expecting on Thursday Federal Reserve to actually come out and announce the interest rate of November, and the anticipation is that they're going to cut the interest rate with the 25 basis points this week. Remember, last they cut with the 50 basis points, and this month we are expecting 25 basis points, so that December again it can be 25, and then it can turn up to be 100 basis points before the next year 2025. But mostly interesting week. We can see the market right now, it's on a pause. A lot of instruments they're not moving that much. When you look at it, S&P 500, S&P 500 is sitting at 5,713 at the moment. NAS100 is sitting at 20,014, depreciated from 21,000, 22,000. us30 again sitting at 41,855. Not that much movement, no movement at all. The market, they're actually on a pause, anticipating and waiting the data that comes out when the votes have been actually started. Again, another one was OPEC and delays on oil output on a hike, and we saw again the crisis that happened last week in terms of oil dipping down to 63 dollars per barrel. All right, so as we talk about WTI, West Texas Intermediary Oil, and actually the market was sitting at, I think, around on the 22 October. Before it get to November, the market was sitting at $71 per barrel, but it actually coming from $77 per barrel, pushes the price gap down all the way to $66. And again, we really anticipated that it will recover, and it shows the recovery to $71 per barrel. What are the most highly targeted in terms of this oil? Because of, again, we saw this week the earnings, third quarter earnings from Saudi Arabia, not meeting the estimation numbers. That pretty much probably oil and the WTI, it has to gain a little bit of more. Again, another interesting story is that US take over 50% of supply of oil in entire world, especially to a country that doesn't really produce, but they actually buy and store the oil. So there's a lot of talks about oil at the moment. There's a summit that is going on. Trump administration more inclined to develop a U.S. oil and gas. So that's the target again regarding the election. That when Donald Trump won, there will be a generation of more of US oil and gas so that they can be at least less depending of oil coming from the Middle East. So that's how oil is looking, but I think it might go the way up maybe to $75 per barrel, I think by the end of this week. The other interesting that we should pay attention is gold. I've been anticipating that gold it might gain a little bit, but the way I'm seeing the market at particular time, we still waiting, for any other data that will comes from whether it comes from whether it comes from the house of Kamala Harris or Donald Trump to see what exactly the election is gonna happen. So we are in 2 minutes 51 seconds to European market open, and again maybe we're going to see how the market is gonna perform in terms of instrument like UK 100. But the anticipation of gold is to gain a little bit because of once the dollar once the elections starting giving the investors instability, people they're gonna now start going to the safe haven, and the safe haven should be the gold. And once people start pumping money in a safe haven, we're anticipating gold to actually bullish to $2,786 dollars per gold there. Other interesting instrument that we've been paying attention for a very long time, the euro dollar, very very important instrument when it comes to these elections as well, is because of again measures the strength of Europe against the strength of economy of the United States. So once we're anticipating the euro dollar to gain a little bit because of instability of the election. A lot of people they are not putting anything to a dollar at the moment until the results are starting to come up. That's where we're going to see the volatility starting picking up. UK 100, I did anticipating UK 100 to push the price all the way to this level of 8,326, but the market has been really really sloppy, if I can say. But again, I'm anticipating again a little bit, at least to 8,233. Once it break there, then we might anticipating the position that we've been, waiting. S&P 500 is still on a pause at the moment, no moving at all. 5,719 is the price, but we're anticipating again, once this volatility of elections start kicking on to at least 5,853. Same as Nasdaq, still on a pause, no much movement. If you can see, nothing is moving at all. So we're really really anticipating again a little bit of growth once the volatility actually starting kicking. Same as us30, you can see on a pause, not much moving. Every investors at particular time they are waiting for the data to pick up. Traders prep for the elections of all night today, from today all the way to tomorrow. Traders are actually preparation for all night election to just watch how the market is going to perform and to look at the opportunities that will jump. So 10 seconds to market open. 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It is market open. European market open has actually opened at the moment. Let's see what the volatility is UK 100 can give us. So we can see yet nothing. The market just on a pause, still at particular time, no movement at all. Euro dollar still the same. Okay, we see movement a little bit on euro dollar, giving us a little bit of volatility. But look at where euro dollar has to come back and recover, especially when all these US elections start kicking and the data start picking up. A little bit of volatility. I can see the pool in terms of UK 100, but we are anticipating the move from this side. So yeah, that's it in terms of checking the markets. about how the market is actually performing at particular time. But again, we do appreciate. We are really, really looking forward to see what is going to happen in terms of the U.S. elections that are coming. Tuesday, on the 5th of November, 2024. On Thursday, the big one again. It's Federal Reserve anticipation is to cut the interest rate with a 25 basis points. So keep watching the market, keep looking at the market. You might see the opportunity that are coming from today, tomorrow, and all the way by the end of the week. So yeah, market at the moment is still looking a little bit down. We're looking a lot of instruments in terms of European sessions. They're still on the raid. They haven't started picking up again. Exactly from UK 100, France 40, German 30. They are all down at the moment. But we're anticipating to actually start picking up. I can see a German 30 actually depreciating a little bit, showing a little bit of volatility there. But again, we are anticipating this instrument to start picking up immediately when people start voting in the United States. So probably around 1 o'clock, half past 2. That will be the time that they're actually up, and it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock on that side. They're gonna start actually doing the vote. So the FX target across is the U.S. election outcome from the J.P. Morgan analysis. If Trump wins and they split the Congress, the US dollar appreciates with the 1.5% to 2%. If a Republican sweeps and the US dollar appreciates to negative 5%, that means it will depreciate to negative 5%. If a Harris wins and split the Congress, more dollar to the negative side. If a Democrat sweep, USD weakenings offset by the policies. So it's not just the election of president of the United States, but again there's election of Congress as well, to see how many members of Congress they will represent their particular party, like a Republican and as well as the Democrat. So yeah, the interesting part about this week, it is the election week of the United States of America. Personally, I don't know, man. If personally, who should I vote? If I was in the United States, I'm not sure. But to be just a member of this world, for free world, I mean, you would love to have a leader who's gonna be fair to people, a leader who's gonna support to to close or to remove all this conflict that is happening around the world. A leader who's gonna make sure that Americans they're not suffering, because these are Americans' elections, and they have the power to choose the leader that they're supposed to lead them to a better place. A leader that will be able to live with the neighbors without any challenge, without any problems, and share the common goal and share the growth between the neighbors, between the neighboring countries as well, and at the same time respecting the border management rules, respecting the immigration rules,